All right, we are back at CMT of Talladega, and we have a very special guest, and I'm going to let this gentleman introduce himself at this time.
My name is Landon Ruggera. I am a parachuter on the U.S. para team. I shoot 10-meter air rifle and 50-meter small bore rifle.
We got to talk a little bit off camera, and you're all the way from Colorado. Beautiful state out there. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that, you live there, but talk about your journey, man, because this is pretty cool. You're over here in Alabama competing. You get probably competed all over the United States, if not the world so far, but talk about your journey a little bit and kind of what's led you here today.
Yeah, sure. I started shooting with 4-H. I shot at state, so the state match, and then was invited to the Springs at the training center, and about 3-4 months later I made the team and have been traveling internationally since then.
How's that journey been? I mean, could you ever imagine this when you were growing up, a younger child, like shooting is going to carry me all around the world? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I always just thought that it'd be something fun to do, you know. I didn't really know that it was a career necessarily. I just did it for fun. So,
was there a particular person that, as you were coming up, that seen you and your abilities and thought, man, this dude is really, really good. He's going places, and kind of helped mold you? Was there anybody like that in your life?
Yeah. My parents. My dad used to shoot competition for a while, about 15, 20 years of his life, and my coaches. So,
when you got to competing, let's say on a regular basis, talk us through a normal day. How much training were you doing weekly? How much training were you having to do to stay competitive like you are?
Usually we'll shoot about 4 hours a day-ish, about 5 days a week.
4 hours a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever get burnt out, or do you get where you love it each time?
Oh yeah, yep. When I go home for the weekend, because it's only about a 3-hour drive home from the training center in Springs.
I got you.
Usually when I do that, I'll still shoot when I get home, just for fun.
When you step away from training and everything, talk about some other hobbies. What do you get into?
You know, I like to draw on occasion, but usually I just shoot.
Shooting is
a hobby.
Your hobby, everything.
Yep.
I like it though, man.
Yep.
But staying competitive, talk about, and I asked some of the other guys this that compete on the high levels like yourself, your nerves. How do you handle that? And has there been some events in the past, maybe when you were first coming up, where you were like, man, I don't know, I'm super nervous, I don't know if I belong here, and things like that?
Yeah, you know, my first international match was in South Korea. That was really interesting because I was kind of in disbelief. It felt like I didn't really belong there, if that makes sense. Also, my first final was really, really rough as far as nerves go, but after that, you know, I kind of have learned to just get over it. It's not a huge deal anymore.
How did you combat that? I mean, when you started competing and the first few bullets started flying, so to speak, did you kind of settle down, or were you kind of uptight most of the time? Yeah,
usually after the first 10, 15 shots, I'll relax, get into a groove, and just do my thing.
Now let's advance a little bit here. Now that you've been doing it a while and have seen the world and traveled, talk about your mentality when you show up to an event now. There has to be a total different confidence.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier now, for sure. Usually I just go into it with the mentality that things are going to be what things are going to be. You know, I'm not really in control of what's going to happen, and that...
Is there some shooters, or it may not even be a professional, you know, shooter, but who is someone you've kind of modeled yourself after or looked up to throughout your career that you're just like, man, that guy's incredible at this?
I would say my dad or my uncle.
They kind of led the way for you.
Yeah.
Are they hunters as well?
Yep.
In Colorado, probably, obviously.
Yeah.
Talk about, for those who have never been to Colorado, I've fortunate enough to travel there several times. It's a different place, man. It's I call it like the outdoors world out there, but everywhere you go is beautiful. Everybody's outside. Talk about Colorado and where you live and how special that place is.
It's really unique, you know. I'm from Gunnison. It's a interesting place. It's what would be considered a semi-arid high altitude desert. So we're right at 8,000 feet. So it's pretty high up there, but we're kind of down in a bowl. So it's super open, just sagebrush. And then once you get up to about 9,000, 10,000 feet, you get up into the mountains, and it's really, really pretty in the fall.
Oh, I bet.
A lot of aspens.
How cold is it?
It gets really cold. Last winter we hit -40.
What?
Yeah.
Negative 40?
Yep.
Were you able to get out and shoot, or do you shoot indoors at that point, or?
I was stuck in the garage.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cold.
Man,
it was
negative
really
40.
cold. Yeah.
Ooh. Man, that's
Yeah.
a whole different.
Yep.
That's a whole different world right there that
Yeah.
we're used to here.
Yep.
We get down to like 14 or in the teens, and people are going crazy here. That's another different world. Right there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple of goals. Talk about some goals you have here. Obviously, you've already achieved some of those, but I'm sure there's many more out there you'd like to have.
Yeah, for sure. One of the goals I have for this year would be to medal at an international match. That and also make the national team would be pretty sweet.
International competition you've competed in. Talk about that experience all in itself. Like when you got there and you were like, hey man, these guys are on some of this different level. Talk about that and what you got to see and compete against there.
Yeah, they're really, really good. They shoot 640s, 638s, which is an air rifle, which is way, way higher scores than pretty much anybody I know personally.
Really?
Yeah, it's brutal competition for sure.
Were you shocked, or did you kind of expect that, or?
I expected it from watching finals and stuff on YouTube and other places, so it wasn't a shock necessarily, but it was definitely surprising just watching it in person.
What was South Korea like? Just in general, just being able to visit. I don't know how much you got to see, but just being there.
I mean, we didn't get to travel a whole bunch. We were pretty busy most of the time, but it was really pretty. I would say it's very similar to down here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's really warm, pretty humid too, because we were on the coast, and lots of pine trees.
Really?
Lots of pine trees, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that. So similar to Alabama.
Yeah, yeah.
Alabama and South Korea, who would ever put those two together?
Yep.
That's crazy. Well, man, I appreciate you spending some time with us. A couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here today. How's your trip to Alabama been so far?
It has been great. I love coming down here. It's my second time.
The weather's cooperated so far.
Yes, that it has. So
that's been good.
Yeah.
And man, just kind of going to turn the floor over to you to talk about that family. You mentioned your dad and things, and your uncle, but anybody that's kind of helped you along the way with your journey, man, this has been awesome to interview you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. My dad, he has been a great role model, I gotta say. He taught me how to shoot, which is obviously without him I wouldn't be here. And he's just really been my drive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you sitting in with us and taking time out of your day. And it's a beautiful day out here. And man, good luck to you in your future endeavors. And man, I hope you reach all your goals and then some.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.